Hello and welcome, this is Skinner, and we're back with some more of the multi-consumer products playthrough of Stellaris using the MegaCorp DLC. At the current moment, I'm waiting for this technology to unlock so that we can get this naval capacity, and then we're going to work to churn out as many ships as we can, as fast as we can, to get up to that naval capacity. Unfortunately, I have drained my alloys. I do have a good production in that regard. We also have a couple points worth of naval capacity that we could use right now. Out of curiosity, what are we looking at as far as cost? So a Corvette's going to cost us 137, and a destroyer is going to cost us 237. I think for right now, it was 3 months until we get that, so we're going to have 3 of these tick over. So more than likely, we're going to be able to afford 2 Corvettes in that time. So what are we looking at market-wise? Maybe not wise, because we do have a lot of production on alloys. We could be patient because alloys is one of the most expensive things out there on the market. And it looks like people have been driving up the cost. Probably other races have been buying these up in abundance. Well, there is a war going on right now, so that makes sense. And as a result, that's just not really a cost-effective force right now. Because to get 250, which wouldn't even get us, that would get us, what, a destroyer? That'd cost us a lot. So it might be a little bit slower than I'd like. We're just going to have to pace it. I think we'd want to prioritize destroyers, though, so I'm going to go ahead and save for that. We already have 1 destroyer in production, but yeah, let's just go ahead and progress here, see what we can do. And maybe those prices on the alloys will drop. While we're at it, though, let's go ahead and take a look at the war that's ongoing. So it doesn't matter which of the members we look at, as long as we can just see the percentage here. So right now, the attacker is still having more war exhaustion. Oh, we get our traditions. I knew that was going to happen sometime soon. So I think we finish expansion here, even though the pop growth speed, that does help in some regards, but not really something that is super key to me. But we do get the finisher effect, which will allow us to have 1 additional district. In addition, we will unlock 1 ascension perk slot. The ascension perk slot is probably going to be the more important thing here. The district, that's more long term. It's useful, but it's more a long-term thing. Once we're done with that, I'm not sure if we're going to finish out diplomacy or not. Neither of these things are going to really help us unless we're in a federation. But we do, again, have the finisher effect, which is what? It's our trust cap up, and our growth up as well. In addition, we will unlock 1 ascension perk slot, which again, that's pretty useful. I think we take the expansion though, and just get that over with. So yeah. Alright, so what kind of ascension perk could we take? We already took one that's going to help us in research. I wouldn't mind something similar. But let's see, we've got sensor range, we've got unlocks the raiding bombardment stance, which in turn allows us to abduct pops from besieged planets and resettle them to our own worlds. This would allow us to actually take advantage of the slavery. Unfortunately, our rival is a Gestalt consciousness, which you can't really enslave, I don't think. If you take them off their home world, they just die. So that's not really going to be a good option for us, because no one else around us are going to be a candidate for that. So we're trying to be friends with these guys. These guys are already a subsidiary, so I don't think that's really going to be, as much as we could take benefits from it, not going to be a high priority. We've got Interstellar Dominion, Starbase Influence Cost, Claim Influence Cost. Not really a high priority right now. If I could get admin cap up, that'd be nice. Starbase capacity, although useful, not really needed at the moment. 1 vision. Okay, so monthly up. Monthly unity up, and governing ethics attraction. Mostly the unity would be the main thing here. Mastery of nature, clear blocker. Now we get a decision that permanently increases the maximum number of districts a planet can have by 2. It can only be performed once on each planet. Okay, so it's a thing that you can do to planets. Edict duration. I mean, that's useful, but maybe not right now. Leader level caps, that's actually pretty useful, because we do have a lot of people that have hit their cap. But let's continue here. Then we've got universal transactions. Branch office cost minus 15%. That's actually pretty good for us. Commercial packs no longer cost influence. That's also useful to us. Yeah. This is the one that I'm going to lean towards, just because it plays into what we're doing as a corporation. We want to do more of these branch offices if we can. But also, the commercial packs are currently costing us influence. How bad is that? Not too bad, but in theory, we may want more of these in the future. And none of these other ones strike me as being super powerful. The main thing that I would probably look towards would probably be this one in some ways, but that would mostly be for our science officers. And none of these other things that we unlocked the prerequisites for, so we're going to have to wait on that. Yeah, I think we take this, Universal Transactions. It plays into what we're already doing, which is being a kind of a trade empire. So, yeah, let's go with that. I was kind of hoping for something that would be a little bit more powerful from a war standpoint, but none of those really played into that. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. All right, we do have enough alloys to build another destroyer, and I will go ahead and do that because we do have the capacity for it. It wasn't my original plan. At least I don't think it was my original plan. Yeah, I mean, we'll go with it. Gorham is going to be kind of closer to the front, so we'll go with that, and we'll build a destroyer here. All right, let's continue.
Upscaling complete. Research actualized.
Alright, so we got a bunch of things happening out here all at the same time. This one being the main one, and we do get that naval capacity, so we'll be able to really ramp up our fleet if we have the alloys. Now, I spent a lot of those alloys getting star bases upgraded, which were useful at the time, not so useful now. But let's go ahead and do new research. So, what we got? Allows us to set the chemical blitz living standard. Okay. Habitability up. Commerce Megaplex. So this is going to upgrade... do we have that strategic resource? We don't have rare crystals, so I'm not going to do this one. Although we could take advantage of this because we do have commercial buildings. Right now, it's not a good idea because we don't have the means to even build it. So let's just take the habitability one. That will make people happier on our 2 colonies, and we'll go from there. This is a rare technology, but I really don't know what this chemical bliss thing is. It's not really being very specific here. I'll take something that I know over something that I don't really understand as well, so we'll move from there. All right, well, it's just going to be a matter of getting the production going. And I don't think there's any other technology that's... I mean, shield technology is going to be useful, but it's going to take a while for it to happen. And we may need to jump on that war any time now. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just focus on getting our fleet constructed as fast as we can. So I did build a destroyer here, and I'm going to have that send over. If I remember correctly, let's close that down. The ocean was the one I was going to send that to. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oop. Didn't want to... There we go. Also, we have our science ship coming over here. I'm hoping we find something really cool in this place, because that was an event chain to even get there. Okay. One of our scientists leveling up. That's good. That's always good. I did want to put a couple corvettes in this fleet, but I think I'm not going to do that now. Ooh, somebody died. Oh, okay. So the person that was in charge of the Empire. I don't know if I can afford the influence cost of this at the moment. I don't know if I really necessarily care who wins here. So, yeah. Whatever happens, happens. We were looking for more minerals, but at this point, I think we're all right with the minerals we're producing. And anything else here, I think, would be good. Unity from jobs, I'd be fine. Leader experience gain. Yeah, whatever. Any of those would be fine. Speaking of influence, is there an edict that we would want? Well, we could do subsidies. The big thing would be maybe the capacity overload. But the thing with that is we're actually really good with energy credits right now. So maybe not as high of a priority. Alright. So we did finish the Hall of Judgment, which doesn't mean that we're not going to be producing... Potentially, we're not going to be producing some things, which gives us some jobs. The next thing we're probably going to need to produce is a city district. We can't afford it right now, but we are going to run out of housing sometime in the near future. But we're worried about that stuff when it comes. Hicklum, we already did build that district. And likely we're going to have to build a district here, Regulus as well, so. Oh, yeah, the thing is with that election, though, whoever wins means we're going to be out a governor or potentially a scientist. We don't want this person to win, Sungam. That would be the only thing. We wouldn't want them to win. But I'm not going to blow influence for that. Alright, we're in system. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Got some kind of debris cloud here. Interesting. Alright, nothing necessarily exciting yet, but I'm assuming surveying it will give us more. I hope this is really ultra powerful, because that would be cool. I've never, I don't think, done this event chain. I've always ignored it because I just never got all the artifacts together, and I just didn't really care too much. Alright, governing ethics shift in the Vagaros Concordant. So that is one of our potential allies. Okay, so what are they doing? They have finally embraced the faction and adopting their core values, and okay, so they have become more outwardly... Oh, that's bad. Egalitarian, I believe, is exactly against authoritarian, so they might not like me as much, but it still might be alright, just from a standpoint of... yeah, so now they view us as authoritarian tyrants. That's unfortunate. They're now fanatic about it. They probably weren't before. Okay. So... the one person I was worried about didn't, I don't think, won, so we probably lost a governor somewhere. So let's just check that real quick. Yeah, on Goroth. So we're gonna want another leader. And governors. Okay, let's see. We got leader lifespan, blockers. That's gonna be totally useless. We could just go with a cheaper leader just to have it. I mean, because neither of these people are giving me a bonus that is meaningful to me. The only downside is this person's kind of old. You know what? Let's take this person here, Candag. Fruit. And... yeah, we don't really have necessarily a great leader to take. The person on Regulus is decent, but I don't think there's going to be a difference in the... moving them over, because there's one research lab in Regulus, there's one research lab on Goroth, so it'd pretty much be the same bonus. You'd just be looking for a higher level person, really. So we'll just use Kandag here, new leader to our homeworld. Alright, so we do have enough to build another destroyer. This is unfortunately a little slower than I would like. But we will continue to produce at Gorham because it's going to be close to the front. At this point, we're going to just focus on getting ships in here. This is all nice and good to have ships in the back, but especially if something happens here where we do have to get ships in there to fight. We do have a few ships in the area, so that's, you know, that's decent. But we have to concern ourselves with what's going on with this war and how it's going, which we should check. Okay, so the attacker's actually doing quite badly now. Attacker war exhaustion is up to 40%, which is a difference of 11 if my math is holding true. So, yeah, alright. And I'm going to guess what's happening here is these guys are just not really helping their ally over here, and these guys are just getting taken from both sides, more or less. Oh, I forgot we had something to go all the way over there. We may do that if this guy turns out to not really have much to do in this system. We do have a project there. Now, the question is, can we get there? In theory, yeah. Maybe. Alright, the shattered remnants of the Voltuum homeworld reveal that it underwent a massive extinction event 12 million years ago, caused by the detonation of some kind of antimatter device. From the ruins that remain on the planet's surface, we have learned that Voltuum society experienced a radical ideological shift a century before their extinction. Their new philosophy posited that the entire universe was an artificial reality which all sapient beings had been unwittingly plugged into for the amusement of some higher power. The Voltuum undertook increasingly radical attempts to forcefully disconnect themselves from the simulation, and most of which involved mass suicide. They finally concluded that only the simultaneous disconnection of billions of individuals would destabilize the system enough to grant them freedom. At an agreed-upon hour, Voltuum everywhere killed themselves by any means available. Those who refused to take part in this mass suicide were too few to repopulate the species, and so the Voltuum faded into obscurity and eventual extinction. That is a very interesting thing, but we get a bunch of unity. Wow. That is a lot of unity. We're going to immediately get a thing. Okay. Alright, so the question is, how do we want to use this tradition? We could try and finish out diplomacy. Not going to necessarily help us immediately, unless, of course, it gets us the friendship with the Verver and these guys, which is, you know, something technically we would want. Because we do need allies, as our rival has allies. The question is, outside of that, I'm going to guess we're going to want war. So discovery, harmony, probably not what we want. Let's look at domination. So, domination... okay, if we do not impose our will on others, they will inevitably impose theirs on ours. So this gets a clear blocker cost, something that we really wouldn't care about. Initially, anyway. Adopting all domination traditions will increase our monthly influence by 1. In addition, we will unlock 1 Ascension perk slot, which is what you get no matter what. But the question is, what do we get here? So we get governor level cap, we get capital building, housing buildings, +1 housing each. Okay, so this seems to be more about strengthening your own. Yeah, so this doesn't have anything to do with fighting. We want to fight. We are militaristic, so that's what we want. The future of this galaxy belongs to those who are strong enough to seize it. That sounds like what we want. Starbase capacity increased by 2. That's fine. Army damage increased by 20%. That's also very good. That will allow us to land our troops and be more effective. Okay, adopting this, traditions will unlock the war doctrines policies. We don't really know what that does necessarily. In addition, we will unlock 1 Ascension perk, which is standard. Let's see what we get. Mastership rights. Reduce by 10% ship build cost. Okay, so we can churn out ships faster with that and cheaper. So that's good. Fleet Logistics Corps. Ship upkeep reduced by 10%, so we can do the things... Oh, and naval capacity increased by 20%. So supremacy seems like definitely the way we want to go. We can crank out ships faster. We can do it more cheaply. We can have more of them. We don't have to pay as much to upkeep them. This all seems like the kind of thing we want. Ship fire rate increased by 10%. Orbit bombardment damage increased by 20%. Okay, those all sound good. Great game. Okay, starbase damage increased. Okay, so that's a defensive thing. And then fleet command limit increased by 20. That's not as big of a deal because we got a couple techs for that. And admiral level cap is increased by 2, which is does have some use, but definitely I want supremacy. The question is, do we wait and get diplomacy first? I say no. I say we go with supremacy right now because we may need it right now. If things calm down and we're in a more stable position, I think we go for the rest of diplomacy. The only thing with that is we're very close to getting the Ascension perk, so maybe we hold out. But you know what? Let's get the supremacy. I want it now. So let's adopt that. And we're actually not that far away from getting our next one. And the next one I'm going to take is Mastership Right. If we get that relatively soon. When we do get a fair amount of unity at this stage, because I am turning in some of our trade value for that, we get quite a lot of unity. So this will get us these kind of things fast, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Potential market survey completed.
All right, so the survey here is all done. Go ahead and just tell you to research the anomalies in the system. And we'll continue. But yeah, at this point, we're really just looking to crank out ships, get that power up. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at just real quickly where we are in the grand scheme of things as far as power. So these are our bad guys that don't, you know, oof. At this point, they're even beating us in economic power, which I'm not too happy about. So they're beating us in every way, and this is the thing that really concerns me, because they're not only our rival, they're right next to us. They're just really powerful. We need to get on top of this and get beyond them, so, or at least be able to compete with them. And at this moment, I'm not sure about that. And they also have a lot of allies, which also concerns me. And if I remember correctly, these guys are pretty powerful too. No, actually, no. We've actually managed to turn things around. Well, in any case, this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is MegaCorp, signing out.